Bring up something relevant.
So I did this tweet of this crazy bruise on my shoulder. And I said, a hot man bit my shoulder while fucking me from behind. It was wild and it was barbaric and it was primal. It caused the best orgasm I've ever experienced. Get the details at OnlyFans. But it reminded me of that picture of like the lion fucking the lioness and he like bites her shoulder to hold her in there.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, it's really primal. Like, wow, that was cool. I didn't know I would like that, but apparently I liked it. And I had this crazy bite mark on my shoulder.
Every girl likes that.
And I took a picture. I don't know.
Oh, yes, they do.
No, I don't know. Because if some guys do it to me, they get a fucking elbow real fast.
I wouldn't leave a mark like that.
Yeah.
But this spot, gentlemen watching, like here, you can
really sore right now.
Yeah, probably. you can like nibble in here, or just you don't even have to really bite. You can just apply pressure with your mouth here,
a little bit,
and it's really like it drives them nuts.
And then somebody was like, "Ouch! You know it could lead to criminal charges. This is something that should never be done unless it was agreed upon beforehand." So I replied, "Oh no, sir. This man." He can bite me any way he wants to, anytime. No conversation is needed.
Okay, well, that brings up a really interesting point. So,
this is like the whole consensual non-consent over here.
Bingo, right? The idea of consensual non-consent, which, if we're being perfectly fucking honest, is what women kind of want to experience. They want to be with a guy like that. They want to be with a guy who just fucking gets it, who just knows what to do.
But I have had
and when
hours of conversation with this dude.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying you didn't.
Right? Like, to the point where now it's like, all right, if he wants to, like, break in here, throw me in the trunk of his car and do whatever he wants, I'd be down with it because I know he's not going to hurt me.
But so like, with the whole Me Too thing that's happened in the last couple of years, like that kind of movement, I see a lot of people talk, maybe not so much these days, but there was a period where on porn Twitter, there was a lot of people throwing out phrases like consent is sexy and, like, talking about consent. The problem is, like, in the real world, like, yeah, it's all well and good for us in our job. We kind of, like, it helps to go over that stuff on camera and get it recorded so no one's in trouble. The problem is in the real world, like, if you pick up a girl at a bar, bring her home, and then you sit her down and be like, okay, honey, here's a checklist. Tell me what I can and can't do to you.
What names can I not
You're going to dry her pussy up quicker than the fucking, like, dry them Sahara Desert.
Like, I just shot with Gamma and, like, the paperwork's like, what things don't you want to happen? And I'm like, well, that could be a huge list.
Yeah.
I could start writing things that would never take place. So why would I even write them?
Exactly.
Like, I don't want you to feed me to a shark. Probably not going to happen in this scene.
Don't waterboard me.
But I don't want that to happen. So I do not want you to hit me with a fish. Like,
yeah, it's
like, it's too vague.
And that's when it comes down to, like, being able to, one, having sexual experience with the opposite sex and being able to, like, read someone's body language and being able to tell if they're into something, if you're pushing it too far, or if you're, like, on the right track, right? And then you can be like, all right, we're heading in a direction she likes. Let's explore this a little bit more.
I have full on like stopped halfway and been like, what the fuck did you just say?
Well, that's the other thing.
Wait, I didn't hear you. What was that?
Man,
oh hell no.
That's one of the most inconsistent. So there's like I said, like, you see patterns when you had sex with a lot of people, right? There's a lot of consistency in terms of what girls like and don't like, and where they draw their boundaries, right? 99 times out of 100, if I'm shooting a scene for any company, and the director is like, we're doing a consent, the director's like, what's on your don't do list? The first thing out of her mouth is going to be, don't stick anything in my butt. That's, like, pretty consistent, right? But the thing that is never consistent is what names you can call a girl. Never consistent, ever, ever, ever. Some girls. Ooh, what
did you call me?
Yeah, some girls.
There's two things you can't call me.
I don't know. You don't tell me this.
I know.
Yeah.
What do you think they are? Two things I don't like.
Canadian.
I love that.
Well, this one girl, I called her a sexy bitch, like, when the camera was off, and she was like, oh, I thought she was going to say, don't call me that. But then she was like, no, keep calling me a bitch. I fucking love it. But other girls, look at those eyes. Other girls, you call them a bitch, they're going to fucking try and smack you around, right?
Do not like being called a bitch.
Bingo.
Do not like it.
And it's a funny thing. It comes down to, like, the words come back. You can always trace it back to, like, an experience in that girl's life where she was either, like, maybe not necessarily abused, but, like,
something shitty,
made fun of, a shitty boyfriend, her dad, like, some shitty experience,
or that moment in high school where everyone laughed at you in the locker room,
bingo,
like, or something,
like, oh, you're a
it doesn't have to be sexually related.
Yeah, exactly.
It could just be that thing.
It's like words like slut, whore, bitch, cunt, right?
Yeah.
You could fucking jumble those up in on a piece of paper each, chuck them in a bowl, and you pick it randomly out of a hat, and you're just as lucky to get it as guessing with a chick.
And if I'm in the middle of a scene and he's like, "Oh, that's my bitch," I'm like,
"What?
Oh, check yourself."
Exactly.
And then halfway through the scene, he's like, "Oh, that's my baby," and I'm like, "There we go. Now we're talking."
Yeah, exactly. And it's so,
but there's some guys who
consistent.
can't read that though.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that's why when it comes to like dirty talk, it's typically better to like if you can gauge it in advance, if you can figure it out. Because the problem with being a dude is that whenever you the moment you ask, it's a detriment to you. Because the moment you ask, it makes you seem like you don't know what you're doing, which makes you seem like a pussy, which makes you seem unattractive, which dries up her pussy.
Yeah.
Right. You get what I'm talking about.
I get it.
You're honest. You're at least honest. There's a lot of girls who would deny that is the truth. So if you can gauge it beforehand, then cool. If not, then when it comes to dirty talk, there's better ways to be generic